don't just yank on your horse's face to get them to back up. That'll create a horse who's higher in the head, bracey, intense, and isn't actually falling into your hand. Instead, when you're asking a horse to back up, it's much better to break it down into a few pieces where they can understand step by step how to soften into your hand, how to engage back over their hips, drop their head, and back up for you and ease into it. This horse naturally, and I'm holding my hand up high, so he's got his head up high, but he naturally ties in high and has a high headset. This horse, a lot of times, will be walking around in his paddock with his head up like a giraffe, okay? And so especially for a high-headed horse, the first step is teaching my horse how to lower their head, okay? So this would have been something that I taught him how to do on the ground first, where I can, on the ground, just put my hand over and he's lowering at the pole, right? Or I can pull underneath like the clip of the lead rope and get my horse to lower that head. So that's something that's a muscle memory that he's built. But then we also would do it with the rein. We're on the ground before I get up. I can pick up on the rein and my horse is lowering, kind of lowering that head. Good boy. Lowering that head, right? So then under saddle, I want to work on that, right? I want to be able to pick up on my rein and my horse lowers that head. If that head pops up like it did, I'll just gently on that inside rein, just gently massage that inside rein, just to kind of aggravate a little bit to say, hey, when you lower, I leave you alone, right? So I always start with direct pressure, and if he lowers there, I'll release. But if he doesn't lower off of that direct pressure, then I'll gently massage and aggravate kind of until he does lower. Good boy. So what I'd like to do here is always make sure that my horse starts nice and soft with a low head set, right? It doesn't mean that sometimes your horse's head won't go up high, and it's okay. That's part of the learning process. There are going to be times when your horse's head comes high. Don't feel like you have to. You see people do this, they start seesawing or over, under, or kicking their horse. Hey, lower that. You don't have to do all that junk. We're going to give him some clarity to help him know that, hey, by lowering your head, you see that head starting to come back up? I'm going to say, hey, lowering your head, I'll leave you alone. Lower that head, I leave you alone. So that's step number one, is teach your horse to lower that head. Where if they do go up, you just hold until they do lower and they're quiet and they're polite. Right there, you see a little bit of braciness there. I'm going to gently massage with this inside rein until he lowers. There, and I'll release. Again, there, I'm going to go a little bit lower, lower, pick up a little bit more, there, release, okay? So that's something that, like, that's step one. Like, I'm going to practice and practice that over and over again. In fact, I could do a lot more work with this pony because I should be able to just pick up on that rein and he's lowering the head there. All right, so now what I'm going to do is not only am I going to pick up and ask him to lower, okay, but now step two is once my horse has their head lowered and I'm ready for them to back up, I'm not just going to pull on the rein. Instead, I'm going to shift my seat. I'll show you what that means, right? So right now I'm kind of sitting up nice and tall. Now I'm going to shift my seat. And what happens is when I shift my seat back on behind him, notice his head comes up. I'm going to stick with him and say, let's lower that head. But I'm going to maintain. And I'm going to wait until he's going backwards and he lowers that head there. I want him to be polite. And it takes as long as it takes. So head's got to be lowered. And I want him backing up. So there's two things I'm wanting him to do, right? So backing up, head there. Then I'll take my seat off of him, all right? And then after that, I want to soften him, okay? And I'm not going to soften him at the end yet. I just want to go back over step two here, so I'll show you what I mean. So, that head coming up, step one, let's get that head low. It doesn't have to be super low. We gradually got to where he is now, okay? Let's ask him to lower that head for me. I'm going to stay with him. Good. Stay with him. Good. Good boy. I'm not going to step two until he's there. Relax there. Step two now. Apply my seat. And I'm just going to hold. I'm not pulling back on the rein. I'm just holding. I'm saying lower that head. And I'm applying my seat. Lower that head. I'm applying my seat. He's got to figure out that when he lowers that head and he eases back there, I take my seat off him. Okay, let me show you step two again. Step one is lower the head, apply seat. I'm going to say lower that head. My seat stays applied. Lower that head. My seat stays applied. Lower that head. There, as you, almost, you gotta lower and go back. I'm gonna stick with it here. Good boy. He's trying to figure it out. But as long as I'm consistent, back, and I wanna see some lowering. There, I'll release there, okay?
You're not too old, you're not too broken. You just need the right support. Even before the spook, your body was already bracing. You didn't want to freeze, but it happened anyway. And your horse, well, they felt every ounce of it. The truth is, fear doesn't fade with time. It fades with trust. And trust, that comes with connection. It's hard to connect when fear takes the reins. And that's why we created Unbreakable Bond Premium, to help you rebuild trust step by step. You'll get our full 10-course training roadmap, where we take you from some of the basics like groundwork and desensitizing, all the way to some of the more advanced stuff like obstacle work and cantering for confidence. Plus mini courses, live group coaching, and a private community of riders who care deeply about doing it right for their horses and themselves. The piece you've been looking for, it's closer than you think. Start your 7-day free trial and build the bond your horse actually wants.
So then step 3 now is I don't just want my horse to lower, good boy, and I don't just want my horse to move off of my seat and back up. I wait for him to back up off my seat. And again, I'm not yanking and pulling. It's a little bit different. A lot of people are used, like you can get a horse, but you see how high he goes with that, right? I don't want to do that. I want to get him to lower. I want him to feel my seat right here, but I want lower there. Okay, I'm gonna take my seat off of him as it's low and going back. That was a good one there. And then step 3 is I'm gonna hold that softness. I wanna finish up soft. Finish up soft, there. Then I'll let my pony out when he finishes up soft. And so essentially what I'm doing is I'm teaching my pony, easy buddy, teaching my pony like, let's start soft. So take my time, let him find it. I'm not yanking and pulling, I'm just gently saying, hey, isn't this aggravating when I just gently, but when you lower, it goes away. Isn't that aggravating? But that goes away. Good boy. And this takes a lot of repetition. So you don't just get this by doing it a handful of times. Just kind of just sitting there and showing him like, hey, there's a place of peace right there. That's your spot, bud. I'm gonna pick up again, say, let's just, right there, that's your spot. Good, we apply that seat, okay. Let's stay soft through that application of my seat. Let's get you to back up off of my seat. I'm not yanking and pulling, but I want him to soften. I like that. I'll release there, that was really good. And then let's finish, nice and soft. A lot of people want to get these horses who are dropping their nose and scooting back underneath them overnight. It doesn't happen overnight. It happens with a consistent expectation and just clear communication to show your horse. And again, with a green horse, it's so much easier to see, right? Like you can see where this horse struggles, right? That's really good. He's holding it nice and low for me. I'm gonna rub him for that. Good boy. Yeah, that was really good, buddy. That was really good. Let's go back to lowering and softening into my hand. Good, right? Then we would apply the seat. And as there. Oh yeah, let's see if we can get him to lower, there, I'll release there. And then we'll finish up there. Nice and soft. And so with patience and consistency of my expectation, you don't have to yank and pull and fight on your pony. You just gotta be super clear to guide them to the, there you go, to the right answer, and you'll develop a horse who backs up much more softly for you.